How's it going? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how life is all about sex and how sex is actually a hex. So life is sex because everyone is created through sex. Everyone had, like two people had sex with a male and a female genitalia, and these two people met and they had sex and they created sex. They created a male or a female who in turn has sex. So this is the fractal nature of life, that we are sex created through sex. So every person has a certain sex, which is male or female, and this sex was created through sex. So everything that we have in life is a result of this. So everything is sexual because of cause and effect, because the effect has the cause inside of it, because of cause and effect. So everything else that is created by sex is sex, because we are sex who actually create sex. So what we have is a mating or a matrix. So everything in life is a matrix. So this is why the movie Matrix is very important, because it talks about mating. So everything in life is a matrix. Everything in life is a womb. So a matrix is actually a womb, which is Deuteronomy 13:19, which says, "Who opens the matrix shall be called mine." So who opens a womb is of God, because this is where the sex happens. So so you actually exit where you entered. Like, people have sex through the same place that you actually exit, because this is cause and effect. So everything in life is sex. So when we understand that life is actually sex and that you are actually walking sex, we have a different understanding of the nature of life and the nature of our universe. So when we're looking at actually sex now, we discover that sex is a hex. So this is interesting because you have to realize that we are all born in sin, and we're all born through sex as sex. So this sex is a very interesting topic that created the situation that we're in. Okay, so we're in this dimension, and in this dimension we're in a box, we're in a cube, and we're trapped in this matrix, in this dimension, in this world where we only have three of everything, a trinity. We have a tree that we ate, the tree of good and evil, and we only have three of everything. So when we realize that we're actually in this cube, in this dimension, in this block, we're blocked. We're just subject to the things that are here. So life was good at some point. It was a paradise, and at that time, Adam and Eve did not need to have sex. But then after something happened, after they ate from the tree, they started to cover their sexual areas, because they discovered that that place is very, very sacred. That place is very powerful. So they covered the sexual areas. So this is why we always, like, when I was growing up, I always used to believe that the forbidden fruit was them having sex, but it literally has something to do with that, because that's the thing that they discovered. They discovered sexuality or something like that, because they covered their sexual parts. Like, hey, I'm naked, so let me cover this area. So they only covered that area. They didn't cover any other place, because it's sex. So through this discovery of sex, or that energy of sacred energy, this is where our problem started, and this is where our life begins. So this was the curse, because on the day that you eat from this, you're gonna die. So we've always been cursed to die. So life is actually a hex, because it's cursed in that way. So everyone born through sex is cursed. Everyone born through sex is hexed. So this is something that is fundamental to life, that as soon as you get in the womb, you're receiving a tomb. So this is very key. So which one comes first? Do we die before we're actually born, or do we get born to die? Or but then this is the puzzle, or this is the paradox from paradise that changed our paradigm. So through this paradigm shift, our life has been like this. Yeah, let me actually show you this. I actually made this So this is actually a cube, right? So this has 6 faces, right? This is what a cube looks like. And in our dimension, we're just in like this box, something like this, because through this box, we only go up, down, left, and right. We only have length, width, and height. But then we have access to a 4th dimension every day. When we sleep, we are inside, which is a different dimension. And through being inside, you can actually project. You can go outside, which is still the 4th dimension. So we have access to more than this because we can leave our body, we can go inside and things like that. So this is where we find different types of power. So the 4 is very powerful and very important. So it's just important to know the name of God, right? So next time Jehovah's Witness or anybody comes to your door, they're gonna ask you, hey, what's God's name? So they're gonna say it's Jehovah. So the clue is in their name. But then what we have, this is the name of God. Actually, yeah, this is so sacred that in the Bible they actually don't even write it. It's so sacred that it's a secret to everybody else. So that is Yahuwah, which is where we get Jehovah. And from this we get what we call the 4-letter tone, because we have YHWH, which is Yahweh or Yahuwah. So from this 4-letter tone, we are getting 4-letter tone, which is tetra, which is for grammar, which is a way of speaking, and tone, which is sound. 4-letter tone, tetragrammaton, which is the sacred name of God. So sacred that people who go to church their whole lives may not even know this. They may or may not, I'm not sure. But I know that it's not in the Bible. Like if you read this book, it's not there. Like let's just look at it. When you actually open it, in the beginning, God created everything, right? This is Genesis, but his name is not there because here it's not actually Yahuwah. This is Elohim, which is the gods. And then when you flip the page, you go to the next one. It now says, now the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden. The Lord God is the tetragrammaton. God is Elohim. So this is very important to understand exactly what you're reading and what you're talking about. So this is what was created. This is God created time, space, matter. 3 again, but in this 4. The 4 created the 3. The Trinity, right, created the 3 dimensions, time, space, matter. This is where we are. This is where we're trapped. This is the matrix, right? So when we're in this world, like everything we're doing is actually mating, because we meet people who we call workmates, schoolmates, everyone is a mate. So where mating is still a matrix, because mating is sex. So everything is that union. So this is how we're in communion with God, common unity, communion. So everything that is happening is taking this shape and taking this form because of causality. So when we're looking at the world that is here, right, it is created by God, right? So when we actually say tetragrammaton, what we're talking about is an actual shape. It's a shape called a tetrahedron. So I'm going to draw it for you here. Oh boy, just landed my line. But then this is the shape of a tetrahedron. Does this look familiar? So this is an actual shape of a tetrahedron. So there are 2 ways of actually visualizing this. Since this is the 4-letter tone, right? So there are 4 sides to this. So this is also a tetrahedron. This is the same thing, but what you're looking at is a pyramid shape, and this has 4 faces. So when you pull the apex up, you see that this is a pyramid and then it's just extending up. So this is how you look at it from the top. So knowing this is very crucial to understand. So this is the actual name of God. So what we have here, this is the tetrahedron. This is the same thing that we have here. So this is just a box with 4 faces. So in understanding the name of God. This is what we're actually understanding. We're actually understanding the four-letter tone. This is the tetrahedron. This is uh, Yahweh. This is Yahweh. So when we actually write the Hebrew characters, they always put them in a tetrahedron, because this is the shape of that name. And this looks like Egypt. This looks like a pyramid. This looks like that. And this is just the actual fact of it. So I'm not making this up. So that's what we call a tetrahedron, right? And so this actually signifies the male energy. This actually signifies the power of God. So this is Yahuwah, and this is the Almighty God, right? The powerful God. And when you look at the way that it's set up, I'm talking about life. I'm talking about sex, right? So everything always has two if it's about sex. So the same way that we have this tetrahedron, we have the power of God, and we have this, and it's creating the matrix or life. Let's just say the world or the universe instead of the matrix, because someone might think that it's a movie I'm talking about, but this is the universe. It's actually a matrix. So when we have this, we are talking about how we discover the power of God being masculine in the Old Testament, how Yahuwah told them to go and slaughter people like eye for an eye, like don't leave any stone unturned, go to this place, do this and do that. And in the New Testament, which is the second, we have another deity who is the same person, who now is, instead of Yahuwah, we have Yeshua. And now we have the same deity, but then we have him having a different personality, a different energy, and a different power. So instead of killing, it's like, nah, turn your cheek. Instead of taking people to court, it's like, no, just resolve it. So we have the same thing, but it seems like it's masculine and it's feminine. So here I'm just drawing the parallels here. I'm not saying that Jesus or Yeshua is a female, but I'm talking about the contrast in their energy. Okay, so when we're looking at the story, we see that we have a Bible, which is which is two, like bicycle, which is bicycle, Bible. So we have the two books, we have the two testaments, and with these testaments, actually a testament, when actually a person goes to testify, what used to happen is that you need two testicles to testify, because everyone who used to testify used to hold his testicles and like I only have my word on my balls. This is literally where it comes from and literally what it means. This is why when Abraham's servant was going to find a wife for Isaac, it says in the Bible that he put his hand on his thigh, which is he put his hand on his testicles, like to swear that, hey, you're going to get the right woman. This is how they used to do it. So each testament is a testicle. Like, yeah, just picture it. Like, this is what it is. So these are the creative forces. This is sacred energy. So when we are looking at the world around us, like, we are not even supposed to talk about sex or even understand it. This is why it would sound so like to someone who would hear this, they would think that I'm demeaning their Bible or something, but I'm not. But everything is actually pure sexual energy. Everything is pure sexual energy. But how we understand sex is like, hey, you don't talk about sex because it's always secret, because that is the sin, because we're ashamed of it. It's like we're ashamed of it, just the same way that they were ashamed of their sexuality. They covered their bodies instead of eating from the other fruit. They covered their own bodies in shame. So we're still having that same blockage because we're in this box. So so life is a hex, right? So we're in this box here, and then this box is actually called a hexahedron. This is the shape of this box. So when we're looking at the different shapes, they have different names because of the different colors. So the hexahedron is called the hex because of 6. So 6 actually is this. 6 is S-I-X. This is 6, right? And then this word and this word is the same. So when you say 6 in Latin, you say sex. So sexus is actually 6. So sex is 6, and this is the same thing. So so this is the essence. And when we talk about essence, we really just literally have an S here, and then this is the essence. So this is the essence, and this actually signifies sex. This is male and this is female. So this is the essence, and this is how we are dividing, or that's how we are actually understanding or deciphering everything in existence. So this is the essence of man, the essence of woman. This is yin and this is yang, and this is what forms, what merges to create. These are two that make one. So this is me. I am one made by two. So this is how life actually works. This is you need two, right? You have two testicles and you also have two ovaries. So these are the old and the new. So this is how you're created in this form, like this dimension, this cube, and you're like this. You're just this block of person. So when we have this, we have all of the power in us through this. So when we actually look at this, we are trapped in this. So when we actually unravel this, right? When we actually unravel this, what we have is this. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have six. We have 6 squares. So all of these squares are representing something. And what does this look like? This is the cross of crucifixion, right? So remember when we're talking about the cross here, this is actually just a cross. This is crisscross. So we could do this and do that. And then we have the British flag. We could just look at this and we see that we have actually the pyramid here. And this is actually the same thing as this, because this is a cross and that is a cross. So this is the cross of Christ, and we have 3 and 1, 2, 3. So we have 2 threes, or 2 trees. And this is where Christ was crucified, and it actually says he who is put on a cross, who is crucified on a cross is cursed. He's hexed. So this is the hex, right? So he was crucified so that we could be freed. This is important, so that we could get the 4th dimension. This is the spirit. So we are escaping the 3rd, because it's unraveled, it's unveiled, it's a revelation. So we're escaping this because he took that and took it away, right? So from this we actually have 3, and we have 3. We have 2 trees. Where did our problems start? A tree. Where did our problems end? A tree. So this is the hex. So the 2 trees, which is 3 and 3, which is 6, which is the hex, which is sex. So through this, we actually have a different mindset, and this is how we're getting to a different state of being. So, wow. All right. Just forgive the way that this might look, but then this is supposed to be an equilateral triangle. So we have the first triangle, the tetragrammaton. We have Yahuwah, we have Yeshua, right? Here we have this is called an hexahedron. This is the same thing as that. So this is just 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these are supposed to be equal 6 points. But these are just 2 triangles. So this just signifies what looks up. What is this? This is the male, right? And what looks down? This is what? The female. This looks up, this looks down. This signifies what actually it is. This is overlapping. This is sexual. This is this is how to see it. So this is the Old Testament, the New Testament. This is just visualizing how the two energies meet and they form something else. So when you have this, you have two different energies that are meeting. This is sexual. This is uh, 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 the black and the white. This is the male and the female. This is the left and the right. This is the two of everything. Two eyes, two noses, everything that is two. So this is bi, bowl. So everything that is happening has this duality that is forming a third in the third dimension. But as I said, unraveling this is the revelation that this cube is a cube. But then after it's unraveled, you see that it's still this shape, but then it's taking a different form. This is a different understanding of what we have in this dimension and expanding it to a different dimension. So this is about the energy that is meeting and that is forming a different entity. So this is Yahuwah and Yeshua. And these two are different, but these two are the same because they're creating a different force. So understanding this is knowing how everything is actually created and everything is hexed. So knowing this truth will let you know that even though it goes up and it goes down, because there's always the duplication happening. So the serpent wants to duplicate. So it wants to create two ups, like two downs or something like that. But when it's pointing up, it's gonna point down. When it's pointing down, it means that this is life, this is death, and this is the hex, because we have the womb and we also have the tomb. This is the hex. So you have to know that you're gonna live and you're gonna die. This is the matrix. This is the matter. So when you understand this, then you'll know exactly what this life is all about. Because even though it's pointing up, right? Something else is gonna point down. And this is the symbol for Judaism. These are the Jews, the ones who have the revelation of God. This is their symbol. This is the Star of David. This is just a star. This is just a shape. This is not to say that I worship stars or anybody who does this is worshiping this, but they understand the male and the female. They understand the good and the evil. They understand the tree of life, the duality, life and death. This is what it's all about. And that is the matrix. That is the matter. They got life and death and they covered their sexual areas. Why sexual areas? Why not another area? Why not cover their eyes or bind their hands or something? But this is the understanding of what was happening and what is still happening. This is life. This is sex. This is the sacred energy. So breaking it down like this lets you know how it actually comes about and what it actually entails. Because through these different energies, you get life and death, you get good and evil, and you get everything that is in between. So knowing these two extremes, that there's masculine, there's feminine, there's man and there's woman, will let you know about the two sides. And this is the hex. This is the hex. And understanding this, you get to know exactly how to maneuver in this world, how to avoid doing what is wrong and what causes the things that are wrong. So as above, so below, on heaven, like put on earth as it is in heaven. This is what it means. On earth as it is in heaven. These are the two things, because Jesus from heaven came down. So they're always two. So these two create another. They create another third. So thank you a lot for watching this, and yeah, I appreciate this. So thanks a lot, and I hope that this will change your life in a very positive way. Just know that there are always two of everything, and these two always create one. So you always have a choice, and the choice is always yours. So knowing this choice is claiming your power. Don't be hexed, but unravel it, unveil it, and be who you are.